What is up guys, Deadset here. Today I want to go over the Invoker Thorns Crusader, the spec in depth as well as its changes in patch 2.41. Let's go. The build promotes a fearless brawling playstyle that does not just endure hits to the face, but relishes in them. You will be running from fight to fight as quickly as possible using Steed Charge. As soon as you find your new target, preferably a large pack of enemies with an elite in their midst, you will draw them in with Provoke, plant yourself in place and start cutting through them with Punish. Activate Laws of Justice when you throw yourself in a bigger fight and anticipate a lot of burst coming your way. Akarat's champion is to be used as soon as it comes off of its hefty cooldown. Pay special attention when activating Iron Skin Reflective Skin. It will provide with a short-term burst of damage, so ensure enemies are within reach to take full advantage of its duration. If you time Iron Skin activation to match the physical damage proc of conventional elements, the burst will be downright devastating. Punish is the solitary non-cooldown skill in the build, but do not be fooled by its unassuming generator damage. It will serve to amplify your Thorns damage through the Invoker 2-piece bonus, and conveniently dishes it out through the 6-piece bonus. Iron Skin is a defensive staple of the class, and Thornsaders are no exception. Instead of traditional choices like the lengthy Steel Skin or the mobile Flash rune, you will be taking the niche Reflective Skin. This powerful rune is the unique take of a nuke in the build, and resetting its cooldown as quickly as possible is a major reason for the implementation of high cooldown reduction and the Akarat's Awakening Shield. Provoke is a triple-purpose cooldown. Besides its taunting base function, it also increases block chance by 50%, feeding into Justice Lantern damage reduction and Akarat's Awakening cooldown resets, and provides another damage spike with its Votoya's Spiker interaction. Due to their matching durations, it can be timed along with Reflective Skin for an even bigger burst of damage. Akarat's champion is the favorite alternate form of the Crusader, seemingly irrespective of the build, as the Thorns build implements it as well. While the advantage of the 35% damage increase, which is now multiplicative, is obvious, the protection from Prophet's 150% additional armor and Second Life build the skill up to an undeniable status. Cheating death is especially important since the build has a hard time fitting Indestructible in due to more advantageous passives and a neck slot locked away from Hellfire Amulet by the necessary Traveler's Pledge. Laws of Justice is yet another tool in the tanking arsenal of the Invoker set. Due to the critless nature of Thorns, Laws of Valor can only be consideration in parties. When soloing, however, the percentage-based scaling of Decaying Strength adds some of the best defense the Crusader has to offer. Activating the law in the thick of the fight will cut down incoming damage considerably. Mobility is one of the most important aspects of Greater Rifts, and Crusaders have no better movement ability than the trusty Steed Charge. You will be picking up the extended duration from the Endurance rune, allowing you to reach or skip more efficiently. This concludes the overview of the active skills. Now let us look through the passives. In a spec detached from weapon damage constraints and largely dependent on fast attacks and cooldowns, it is no wonder Fervor is taken for the outstanding 15% attack speed and cooldown reduction. A no-brainer inclusion in the build, Iron Maiden increases your Thorns damage by 50%. To maximize the benefits of your Justice Lantern ring and saturate the procs from your Akarat's Awakening Shield, you will be taking the massive 30% block chance increase from Hold Your Ground. Finery rounds out the passives with a balanced source of both damage and toughness, increasing strength by 1.5% for every socket across your gear, weapons and jewelry included. It amounts to a sizable boost with an assumed average of 10 sockets on a well-equipped character. Strength and Vitality are recommended on all pieces of your gear, as they both feed into your Thorns damage, the former by default and the latter through the unique affix of Heart of Iron. Critical hit chance and critical hit damage can be safely replaced by survivability and utility stats, as Thorns damage cannot crit. The build incorporates the full Thorns of the Invoker set, taking all 6 pieces available and leaving the jewelry to balance defense with Justice Lantern and offense with the Endless Walk set. Rolls-wise, this cooldown and attack speed-centric build benefits from CDR on both the Invoker shoulder and the Invoker gloves, along with an attack speed roll on the latter. Physical damage is recommended on the Invoker bracers, as Thorns has been changed to benefit from the element. The remaining pieces, the Invoker helm, the Invoker pants, and the Invoker boots, can be entirely dedicated to toughness. Not skipping on any of the 6 available set pieces to obtain the full Thorns of the Invoker bonus allows you to balance between offense and defense in the jewelry slots. Reworked in patch 2.4, the Endless Walk set, the Compass Rose ring, and Traveler's Pledge amulet add a unique mechanic that slowly increases your damage by up to 100% if you remain stationary, and drains it away and increases your damage reduction while moving. This balance mirrors the Thorns playstyle, which fights rooted in one spot for extended periods of time, with periodic bursts of movement to the next big brawl. The remaining ring slot will be taken by Justice Lantern, whose unique stat block chance is now enhanced by a legendary property that reduces incoming damage by up to 55% of your block chance. The independence of the damage reduction mechanic from followers and the tie-in with the set bonuses and Akarat's Awakening make it superior to Unity. You can choose between your better roll of 2 legendary chest pieces for the torso slot and cube the other one, the reworked Heart of Iron or Aquila Cuirass. Heart of Iron grants you 300% of your vitality as Thorns, turning this basic toughness stat into a source of damage. Aquila Cuirass cuts incoming damage in half if you maintain above 90% of your resource, which is a permanent effect in this no-spender build. When considering their stats, remember that Heart of Iron has natural Thorns rolled in its secondaries, but has a wider range on the unique property. The range on Aquila Cuirass is irrelevant to you and will always be on, but you might have to reroll into Thorns damage, as it does not roll by default. A former Season 2 Misfit, Belt of the Trove, is a flavorful best-in-slot item for the Waste slot. With its use, you gain the 50% damage reduction after casting Bombardment from the 4-piece set for free, allowing you to slot other synergistic skills and not worry about another long cooldown on your hands. In patch 2.41, the weapon and shield choices have deservingly shifted into more Thorns flavorful items. The preferred weapon for the build now is Hack, an axe whose unique property applies up to 100% of your Thorns damage to every attack, now properly benefiting from all sources of bonus damage. As Thorns does not take weapon damage into account, Hack is a pure stat stick that needs strength, cooldown reduction, and attack speed, and ideally, the damage range gets re-rolled into life per hit, or one of the missing aforementioned stats. Receiving similar treatment and now properly applying Thorns damage with all of its applicable buffs, Vutoya's Spiker replaces the former favorite Akarat's Awakening in the shield slot. The fix to this legendary item single-handedly makes the inclusion of Provoke worth considering, and completes the image of the Thorns Crusader as a separate identity. Your 3 jewelry sockets will be taken up by the legendary gems Bane of the Trapped, Bane of the Stricken, and Boyarsky's Chip. Bane of the Trapped is a potent source of additional damage, as it is its own multiplier in your total damage calculation. The gem procs itself with its level 25 property and matches the set Thorns radius perfectly. The 2.4 newcomer Boyarsky's Chip fulfills a simple and straightforward purpose, increasing your Thorns damage. Its level 25 property is useful in sticking enemies to you, trading turns with Provoke for the same purpose. Introduced in Season 4, Bane of the Stricken occupies the 3rd and final jewelry socket, building up your damage multiplicatively in prolonged fights, and with a level 25 bonus specifically targeting Rift Guardians, this gem is designed to assist during the takedown of the biggest bottleneck in Greater Rifts, the scaling health numbers. The Kanai's cube recommendations are as follows: Akarat's Awakening for the weapon slot, Heart of Iron or Aquila Cuirass for the armor slot, and Convention of Elements for the jewelry slot. The rarest Crusader shield, Akarat's Awakening, finds a home in the cube of this block-heavy build, supplying you with a reliable source of cooldown reduction in a build with no CDR-relevant set bonuses. It is worth noting that its places are interchangeable with Votoyas' Spiker, but the latter is much easier to perfect due to its natural Thorns role in the secondary stats. As previously mentioned, you can cube your weaker rolled item between the Aquila Cuirass and Heart of Iron in the armor slot. The jewelry slot in the cube is best taken by convention of elements, squeezing some extra damage in a spec already excelling in survival. Maximize its benefits by keeping in mind the heavy burst from a synced physical proc and active iron skin, and wait out the lightning proc that precedes it. Awareness of this boost should not lead you to overcommit, however, and iron skin availability should not be wasted in wait. An Akarat's Awakening reset is bound to come soon anyway. In the Paragon points, max out movement speed to the 25% cap and spend the rest on strength in the core section. Prioritize cooldown reduction and attack speed in offense. All resistance followed by life percentage and then armor in defense. And finally, focus on area damage and life per hit in utility. And this is it for the in-depth look at the Invoker Crusader in patch 2.41. You can find the full written version linked in the description below, as well as a Google spreadsheet linking to my detailed guides for every build in Diablo 3, of course, in the process of revision to patch 2.41. I hope you enjoyed this guide, and if you did, I would appreciate your subscription to my channel. Talk to me on Twitter and Facebook that I link below, and I'll see you guys next time.